And our top story this hour is a much-awaited judgment that is significant for bilateral ties of India and Pakistan. The wait in Kulbhushan Jadhav's case is over. The International Court of Justice will be pronouncing its verdict today, and the verdict will be out at 6:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time. It will be pronounced by the President of the ICJ, Justice Abdulqawi Ahmed Yusuf. Pakistan has sent a 13-member delegation led by Attorney General Anwar Mansoor Khan. India will be represented by Joint Secretary Deepak Mittal and officials from Legal and Treaties Division of the Ministry of External Affairs. India has requested the World Court to annul the decision of the Pakistani military court. India has asked for the release of Kulbhushan Jadhav. India says even if he is not released, Jadhav should at least be given a trial before a civilian court. New Delhi adds that India should be given the right to arrange for Jadhav's legal representations. Jadhav should also be given full consular access. The final oral hearing in the case was held earlier this year. In February, both India and Pakistan presented their concluding arguments. Here's a quick recap of the case. Kulbhushan Jadhav is an Indian national who was kidnapped by Pakistani spy agency from Iran. India was first informed of his custody by Pakistani authorities on 25th March 2016. In 2017, Islamabad announced that a military court has awarded death sentence to Jadhav. New Delhi approached the World Court on 8th May 2017. India filed a case against Pakistan for quote-unquote egregious violations of the Vienna Convention on Consular Relations 1963. On 18th May 2017, the ICJ delivered its order asking Pakistan to not go ahead with the execution. The order says, and I quote, Pakistan shall take all measures at its disposal to ensure that Mr. Jadhav is not executed pending the final decision in these proceedings and shall inform the court of all the measures taken in implementation of the present order. Quote ends. Now, on 25th December 2017, Pakistan allowed Kulbhushan's mother and wife to meet him in Islamabad, but the way Pakistan conducted itself was shameful to say the least. Jadhav's family was asked to take off their footwears. His wife was even told to remove her Mangal Sutra, which is a chain worn by married Hindu women. Now, WION's been closely tracking the latest on Kulbhushan Jadhav's case. Our Pakistan Bureau Chief Anas Malik joins us live from Islamabad for more. Let's quickly go across to Anas. Anas, the nature of this case has been highly complicated. While India has accused Pakistan of violating the Vienna Convention on Consular Access, Pakistan, on the other hand, has overturned the argument by alleging that Jadhav is an Indian spy. How significant will be the implications of the verdict for New Delhi and Islamabad?
Well, yes, the Kulbhushan Jadhav case, Akansha, has been that bone of contention between bilateral relations between Pakistan and India. But as India says that Pakistan has violated the Vienna Convention on Consular Relations, Article 6, VCCR's Article 6 on that grants consular access. Pakistan, on the other hand, maintains that the 2008 bilateral agreement between Pakistan and India bars Pakistan from granting access, consular access to Kulbhushan Jadhav, because Pakistan says that it was India that had got in the clause included that consular access to matters or to individuals pertaining to national security would be subjected and optional. Pakistan on that basis has been denying consular access to Kulbhushan Jadhav because they say that a bilateral agreement supersedes a multilateral agreement. Now, if we talk about the nature of this case, Pakistan has contested the case. They have been very, very careful in putting out statements. We spoke to Dr. Mohammad Faisal, the spokesperson of the Pakistani Ministry of Foreign Affairs. He had said that they're expecting good results. Now, if you talk about the case particularly, India in its initial basic raid had asked for consular access. Kulbhushan Jadhav, Pakistan claims, had been arrested from Pakistan's Balochistan on the 3rd of March. Now, Pakistan, while in ICJ, at the International Court of Justice, it has raised 6 questions which Pakistan claims that India is yet to answer. The very basic question that Pakistan says is that whether it's Kulbhushan Sudhir Yadav or Hussain Mubarak Patel, and if it's Kulbhushan Jadhav, then what was the passport of Hussain Mubarak Patel with Kulbhushan Jadhav? The same passport on which he's travelled 17 times through Indian immigration, that passport was renewed once as well. India says that passport is fake, but Pakistan says that if the passport is fake, then how did he travel 17 times on that passport? Second, the most important point, that Pakistan says that he was arrested from Balochistan India says he was kidnapped from Iran. Pakistan says if he was kidnapped from Iran, then there should be a case that should have been lodged in Iran, or a note that should have been raised through diplomatic channels. And the third and far most important, that at the time of the arrest, what Pakistan says that he was 47 years old and it was premature retirement. So if at all it was premature retirement, then there should be some records. Now Pakistan is insistent that anything lesser than acquittal, release and return India's extended prayer would definitely be a victory on the part of Pakistan. And legal experts here, they are eyeing that India is in all likelihood likely to be granted consular access to Kulbhushan Jadhav.
All right,
yes,
Anas, even though it's going to be tough, but how important is it for the ICJ to decide the case in a manner that is acceptable to India and Pakistan?
Well, ICJ is not a trial court, so it does not weigh in evidences. That is a very, very key point. So, as per Pakistan's claim or as per India's claim, ICJ is not a body to decide that whether he's a spy or is he a civilian. ICJ is no body to decide that. ICJ is a body that would basically evaluate laws.
All right, Anas, but the military court trial in Pakistan. The military court trial in Pakistan is also rated by Pakistani experts themselves to be equally farcical. How reliable are these Pakistani military court trials?
Well, absolutely, that is a very fair point that had been raised by Harish Salve in his arguments that were raised, and he had cited the example of the Peshawar High Court verdict of Ziaur Rahman that had basically annulled the decision of the military court, saying that the military court in that particular case had given a one-sided judgment. The right to fair trial was not exercised, and Harish Salve, during his right to reply, the first right to reply and the only right to reply that he had given in the oral arguments on the 20th of February, he had cited that 175-page verdict of the Peshawar High Court, saying that the military court system in Pakistan is flawed, and therefore on the basis of which Kulbhushan Jadhav should be given a trial in the civilian court. Now, what remains is to be seen, and what will be interesting is the binding. Pakistan and India both are signatories of the Vienna Convention or the Vienna verdict. That basically calls for the implementation of the ICJ verdict to all the member states, and it binds them. So that would be that real interesting thing to see, because if at all a consular access is granted, that would essentially mean that the whole case has to be retried again, if not in civilian court, then at least in the military court itself, because the trial, the basis of the initial trial would then be flawed because he was not granted consular access.
Last but not the least, Anas, Pakistan had already argued that the International Court of Justice had no jurisdiction, and that was overruled by the ICJ. Will Pakistan comply when it has already violated treaties in the Jadhav case in the past?
Well, Pakistan has to comply. It's not a matter of will or if or options. Pakistan has to comply. In fact, for that matter, India also has to comply, regardless of whatever the decision is, whether one party likes it or not, because they both are signatories of the Vienna Convention or the Vienna verdict. Just on the 3rd of February, 16 days before the verdict came in, both Pakistan and India, under the ambit of the United Nations Security Council, signed the Vienna verdict, signed the Vienna Convention that calls for the implementation of the Vienna verdict, that basically calls for all the member states to implement the ICJ's ruling in its fullest form, regardless of whatever their local law says.
All right.
Yes, Akansha.
Well said, Anas. Pakistan has to comply, but will it comply or not is yet to be seen. At 6:30 p.m. IST, we shall know as we keep coming back to you for all the latest on the Kulbhushan Jadhav case. For now, thank you so much for joining us live from Islamabad.